For years, I tried to perfect my tomato sauce for pasta, experimenting with the right ratio of celery, onion, and garlic, and using more pricier TOP tomato cans from Italy. After many variations, I seem to have narrowed the gap between my homemade sauce and the store bought ready made versions. Still, it's hard work to beat the shelf tomato sauce, especially when it takes hours to make the perfect homemade, but it takes just seconds to pop open the glass jar ready to serve. Plus, there's cost consideration. It's going to take $20 plus to make a decent batch, but store-bought sauce is usually cheaper. I'm not talking about $2 a bottle of Prego sauce that tastes like hybrid ketchup, but maybe ones that cost $7 a jar, likes of Rao and Carbone that rivals restaurant quality. I've been to Italy and have tasted some amazing tomato pastas, which inspired me to perfect my sauce making technique. For years, I have tried to perfect my recipe, and one day, exhausted from work, I gave in to the forbidden option, which every Italian cuisine loving promoter stayed distant. Ready made tomato sauce because it was on this huge sale from the usual $8 a jar to half the price. To my surprise, it was actually quite good. In fact, the experience didn't turn me into a religious shelf sauce advocate, but it did make me wonder a few things. When you blind test home cooked sauce and ready made sauce, they're quite easily distinguishable. But that's when you know you're testing between a store bought sauce and homemade. If you bring a nice ready made plate to your neighbor, he'll never guess it's the jarred sauce and praise how authentic it may taste. When you think about it, yes, most of store-bought jarred sauce started from mom's and pop's old kitchen stove, perfected by families and shared with friends and neighbors before growing into larger brands. Rouse, for instance, my personal best simply started from the New York City restaurant Rouse. On the other side, you have this corporate R&D spending millions of dollars inventing the white appeal sauce. Prego, with its dominant presence in the US, with its affordable price and consistent taste, was developed from Campbell's Food Science Lab. So unless you dedicate your lives making best tasting sauce, locally sourcing the ingredients at their freshest and make the best batch and store them at airtight container, sterilize them so their tastes are contained, it's hard to beat the ready-made. In the perfectly competitive world where all goods are identical, what differentiates one product to another is in the smallest details. Today we have an array of products that we have never heard or seen before coming online every day creating an illusion of identical products only differentiated by pricing. People dedicated their valuable time creating a master recipe to make a wide appeal product. What you see on the grocery shelf is the survived troops of products in a competitive market. You, on the other hand, may have spent an hour a day to recreate an internet recipe. The group of food scientists dedicate their working hours and resources to create a product that is meant to surpass ordinary flavor. Of course, you can exceed the factory-made sauce, but it will cost a lot of money and time. For instance, you will buy $10 DOP Sardinian cans with the freshest basil and garlics on top of other additives that are needed just to beat the $5 glass bottle. Over the years, competition enhanced average taste quality of the products and we will need to spend more time and resources to jump over the hurdle. Not just tomato sauce, but restaurant business shares a similar pattern. We don't like mass production because quality is lost during the production process, and consumers prefer independent products because we associate smaller batch with more controlled quality. It is interesting to note that most independent small moms and pops restaurants started locally and their end game goal is either becoming next McDonald's, Shake Shack, Chipotle, merely started as a local university restaurant. So why are some people besides Italians disapprove the quality of ready-made sauce? But cooking is more than just taste alone. It's therapeutic and communal experience. We don't just cook because it necessarily creates better tasting food. We create food for our loved ones because it's an expression of love which will go extra miles even though the result could be imperfect. Taste alone doesn't define dining experience. It is very subjective and conforming. I would like to limit my theory on tomato sauce mostly. I have tried ready-made Hungry Man and Hot Pockets and God, they taste awful.